Welcome back to another unboxing and review. Let's get into it. Here is Hasbro's adventure series, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones. This figure came out last year in 2023, along with 4 other figures in the initial Raiders run, including Sala, Marion Ravenwood, Belloc, and Major Tote. Each of these figures came with a piece of the Ark of the Covenant to build your own artifact. This came in Hasbro's new windowless packaging, which they had switched to for the past year, which was not favorably received among the collector community because we want to see what we're buying. I will say this mediocre interior packaging was well designed to hold the figures and the accessories in place. The figures and the accessories were wrapped in a map-themed waxy tissue paper. I didn't hate this. It was actually kind of a nice touch. I think that's kind of cool. Indiana Jones is one of my favorite movie characters, and my concern was that they were not going to be able to capture his likeness. Thankfully, those concerns were alleviated once I took him out of the packaging. I knew they would be able to pull off his overall look with no problem, but his head sculpt was my big concern. But thankfully, it was quite good. I gave the figure a once-over, and after my initial impressions, I noticed that they did not give him the same articulation that they do for their G.I. Joe line or for the other action figures they produce. I understand that they're not going to make all of their figures exactly the same, but the way that they made him really limits his articulation and posability. They gave him single-hinged joints in his arms, and those were extremely tight. I don't know if you can see me struggling in this video to get his arms to move, but I was really concerned about breaking them. Wow, these joints are so tight. His knees also were single-hinged joints, which really limits that posability factor for this figure. His foot joints also have a limited range due to how the pant leg was designed around it. I can't really see too many crazy poses that I would put him in, just based on the character, but even if I wanted to, we really aren't afforded that. He is a pretty stoic character, so he'll probably be displayed in that manner on my shelf. He comes with a satchel that's pre-slung over his shoulder that can come off. However, that requires you to remove his arms and his jacket to do so. The jacket is made of a pliable plastic that can flex. I don't think I'm going to go through all the effort to remove it because I like it the way it is. His head has full 360-degree articulation, and he has a good head tilt on him. In the accessories packet, we have his iconic whip in 2 different forms. One version is one that he can hold and use, and the other one is a molded looped version, which is to be clipped onto his belt. Unfortunately, I could not get mine to latch onto his belt. It is made of a very soft plastic, and it just wouldn't work for me. Very disappointed in that. So unfortunately, if I want that to be on his belt, I'm probably going to have to super glue that in place. We also get the 2 bird toppers for the Ark of the Covenant build-a-figure, build-a-accessory, whatever we're calling this. He also comes with the golden idol that we see at the beginning of Raiders that he's trying to acquire, as well as a revolver that slots nicely into the holster that they have included on his belt. And lastly, he comes with a few different sets of hands. It's always nice to have a few different sets of hands for posability. Let's get him up on the turntable and see what kind of poses I can get him into. I really like this figure, despite some of its shortcomings. They did a really good job with the design and sculpt, and I'm not mad about my purchase. I'm not quite sure if I'll pick up the rest of the figures to build the Ark of the Covenant accessory, but I have looked into a few of the other figures from the Temple of Doom and Last Crusade releases. Make sure you like and subscribe to see if I grab some of those other figures, as well as I may have a small project lined up for this figure, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.